interest, specifically simple interest. Now this is like a one-time interest. It's like if I were to loan you $1,000 and told you you have to pay me back $200. That's a one-time interest. Or I could do a percentage, a one-time percentage. So the formula we're going to use is I equals PRT. I is interest, P is the principal. Principal is what you invest or borrow. But we're going to do investments here. R is interest rate as a decimal. And the time. The interest rate, time, and the time invested, they must correspond. So that's a big deal. So let's just do this example. This first question, we're going to find the interest on a couple of examples. So to do that, we're going to use this formula, I equals PRT. Now when you read this $3,000 is what you're investing, that's your P. For 4 years, that's your T. 5% annually, so that means that this corresponds, so I don't have to worry about that. And 5% is a decimal, is 0.05. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to substitute those into this formula, and that's P times R times T. So P is 3,000, R is 0.05, and T is 4. Now it doesn't matter what calculator you use, so I'm gonna use a graphing calculator. I'm just going to multiply those out. So 3,000 times 0.05 times 4. And we get our interest of $600. Simple interest of $600. Now let's look at this one. Same question. Find the interest using PRT. The principal is what we're investing, which is $2,500. The interest rate is 2% annually, but notice this is for 30 months, so we'll talk about that here in just a second. So 2% annually is 0.02. Now we need this to correspond. And what I like to do is I like to take the 30 months, we're going to convert it to years. And what that is, all you're doing is you're going to take that 30 months and divide it by 12 months to find what it is in a year. So I'm just going to use it as 30 over 12. It's the easiest way of doing it. I could use some kind of conversion formula if you wanted me to, but just know that you're dividing 30 months by 12 months. And if you think about it, 30 divided by 12, if you count by 12, 24, it should be 2.5, 2.5 years. See that? So 30 months, same as 2.5 years. That's what we're going to do. And so, let's just go ahead and type this all in, just as I have it written down, times 0.02 times 30 divided by 12. We get $125. Now if you're using scientific, say for example like this one, do it the same way. 2,500 times 0.02 times 30 divided by 12. You get the same answer either way. Now the question I could ask you is, for this example, how much money would you have total then? So what you would do is you would take the P that you invested and you would add the interest. And so you had 2,500 plus 125, which is 2625. Now I could do all kinds of fancy stuff and say that I is the same as PRT. And then I could say, if you knew how to factor, I could take out that factor, that P, because it's common to both, and divide both of those by P. So maybe you don't want to hear about this. And you get that kind of a formula. Good for you is that you don't have to do that because it's already given to you. If you ever see this formula, it's the total amount of money for a simple interest account. It includes the principal and the interest. So that's how you find it if you want to know about that. And here's what it is. It's going to be given to you in a formula sheet somewhere, so you don't have to memorize it. You just got to be able to recognize it. It has no exponents. No exponents. And that's kind of a good way to think about it. It has no exponents. So we could do it in two parts, or just use this one big formula. So here we go. I'm just going to use the one big formula. Find the amount of money. That means we're going to find all of A. An account at $4,000 is invested for 7 years at an annual simple interest rate of 3.2%. Annual years. That's always good. So I'm going to use this formula and let it help me find the total amount of money. P is 4,000. That's what you're investing. 1 stays 1. R is 0.32 or 3.2%. So move it 2 places to the left. Times T, which is 7. Now, if I'm using a sine or a graphing calculator, this is actually really easy. So you just take the 4,000 parentheses 1 plus 0.032 times 7. Close it. I'm going to make that a little bit easier to see. That's like an asterisk. Times 7. Enter. And we get $4,896. Now you could also use parentheses if you wanted to, inside parentheses. So you may want to write it like this. Nothing said you can't use brackets if you want to. So you can put parentheses around that. However you want to do it, but notice how I typed it in. Now if I'm going to use a scientific, I have to be kind of careful. I got to do my order of operations. So I want to do the 0.032 times 7 first, and then plus the 1, and then times that by 4,000. So be careful with that one. Let's do this. We'll do this example. Same formula. Simple interest, because it tells us we have 10,000 at the end. In that case, at the end, that's how much we have total. That's going to be our A. How much should be invested? We don't know. That's going to be our P. So we're going to leave it as P. And then 1 plus R. R is 4.1%, so it'll be 0.041 times 5. Because those are the annual and yearly are the same thing. So that's good. So to do this, ignore the compound interest stuff. We'll do it later. Different video. So to solve this, we're just going to take out our calculator. Doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to do this one step by step, even though I could. Let's type it in first, all at once, just so you can see that you can do that. And you get 1.205. If you want to do it start with the scientific, you have to do 0.041 times 5, and then add 1. So either way, you'd be fine. And then to solve this for P, you divide both sides by 1.205. So take 10,000 and divide it by 1.205. And you come up with $8,298. And we will round that to the nearest hundredths place, the nearest cent. So that's going to be 76. And that's it for now.